How's it going, guys? Ranger Squid here, coming at you with episode 3 of the album rankings for 2019 for me. Now, before this video begins, this video is mainly unscripted. I wrote scripts for the first 2 videos. However, this one, I just decided, you know what, we're going to keep going with all of our thoughts. And we're just going to keep going with the albums. I don't want to wait. And a lot of people in chat also didn't want me to stop, so they just said keep going. I'm like, okay, sure. So before this video begins, again, number 2, these are my opinions. Please don't be hurt when I rank something lower than you thought that it should be at, like if it's your number 1. Please know that these are my opinions. If it's in the actual rankings, then that means it's actually just a good enough album on its own. If you hear crinkling or moving around in the background, that is my cat who is moving around right now. Please ignore that, but also love it. Anyway, so in the very last video that we talked about, I wasn't ready. Wow, I wasn't ready. Why are these, I am hurt. Why are none of these pop hip-hop? Well, that's because I didn't review any albums that were pop or hip-hop. Thank you for asking, though, Mr. Mod Man. Anyway, in the last video, we talked about Killswitch Engaged as being our rank number 35 for the year. At rank number 34, we have I Prevail's album, Trauma. Now, when they released the single Bow Down, I absolutely fucking loved it. Like, oh my god, I put that song on repeat. That song was a banger of a song. And just the breakdowns, everything about it was just super cool, super interesting. And then the album dropped, and I didn't mind it at first, but then after a few listens, it just, I think, okay, so there was a point in the album, where was it? It was Let Me Be Sad. After Let Me Be Sad, the album just was downhill. Downhill. Like, literally just to the bottom. Before that, it wasn't bad. It just, again, we're going back to the it's not my style thing. Basically, the up until like rank 30, it's not really my style. Although there's a few in here that are like, okay, these aren't bad. I Prevail. Trauma was just kind of like this same old lyricism too. One of those like bland metalcore bands, similar to Wage War in the last video, where I talked about how it reminds me of Skillet, and Skillet was just a boring old metalcore band that was whiny and emo about a girl who they couldn't get over, and then they became depressed, and then became suicidal, etc., etc. Everyone loved Skillet back in the day. That's true. But now it's just like, okay, they're just really boring musically. So overall, it's not bad. It's not great either. Like, it's in that middle area where it's like, some of it's really good, and then some of it's really bad, and you got some in the middle, like, you're like, what the hell is this? They do a really good job with their style, and I respect that they have a following, but it's not mostly for me. So, the next one might hurt a few people, but the next one at rank 33 is Thousand Below's Gone in Your Wake. Now, this album, I found them about 3 weeks before they dropped the album. And I enjoyed some of the singles that came with this album. And I actually talked about it. Where was that little thing? Where was my little thing about it? There we go. And I'm not going to call an album shit ass. And I just lost interest. Like, I listened to this a couple times, about maybe 5 to 6 times over the course of like 2 to 3 weeks. And I tried listening to it multiple times, but that second half, when they do the transition to a slower melodic metalcore, post-hardcore sound, it just doesn't work for me. It really, I thought that the singles were absolutely incredible. But when you transition, again, this whole transition thing, when you transition to a new sound, you either gotta go full force or you just gotta splash it in here and there and then do it more and more and more over time and see how those songs specifically do. Like with Wage War, they had Stitch as like one of their top songs. And Don't Let Me Fade Away was probably the only one that was maybe a little bit higher in terms of ranking or in terms of popularity. And then they just said, okay, we're going to forget everything we know, release Low, which is absolutely wonderful, and then release light songs, or light, boring songs, and with boring lyricism. Thousand Below released good lyricism, good length. However, that second half, I would rank it lower if I didn't enjoy the singles as much, and I would rank it higher if that second half really just didn't kill me as much as it did. So at rank 32, we have an album that a lot of people absolutely found amazing. And actually, another one that's going to probably anger a few people. Whitechapel's The Valley. Now, this album, it starts off with like 3 or 4 of the best songs I have heard from Whitechapel like ever, even more than the Saw is the Law. When a Demon Defiles a Witch, oh my lord, they do an incredible job. However, I don't think I fully can enjoy the album right now. I've listened to it about 8 times since I first found it. I didn't enjoy it at first. That's the biggest thing, is why it's ranked 32. It would be higher because I started recently enjoying it in the last few weeks when I started re-listening to all the albums. And all those songs that I didn't like in the beginning section, I now am starting to really enjoy. Whitechapel is probably a band that's going to grow on me over time. However, for right now, it's not growing more on me. And that very first listen really just kind of said, I don't like this album. And it takes a few listens to get used to. I'm going to look out for them in the future, 100%. I'm going to keep listening to this album to see if it gets higher up. If it does, at maximum, it would go up to about 21, 22. I still don't like a few of the songs on it, no matter how many times I've listened to them. And I don't fully like the style of the band. But this deathcore is still really cool, and I respect them for getting such a following, along with like Chelsea Grin, Die Artist Murder, and Suicide Silence as well. Although Suicide Silence is a very different story in that regard. Now, on to rank 31, an album that people are going to be upset about me for, again. Capstan, Restless Heart, Keep Running. Waiting for the screams and caps and chat, and good, I am glad you're upset. You haven't even seen the album yet. So I don't know what to label this band. I think they're like a pop punk type of. I think that they're upset, or I think that they're like pop punk style. I just don't know what they are. Post-hardcore, pop punk, post-hardcore, pop punk, I guess let's call it. But the biggest thing about this album that I really liked was that it had a good first half. The first half really caught me up for a while. And then the fact that it was 14 songs of minimum 2 minutes each, but it was only like 42 minutes. I was like, wait, did they just release a lot of 2 to 3 minute songs that are all really short and really quick? And that's what kind of also was not my favorite part of it. It just seems extremely long, even though it was only 42 minutes. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that the length of it was it was really weird. I don't know. It just wasn't fully for me. I will look out for it in the future, but I don't think this is my full style. I'll keep a few of the singles in my playlist. I'm not 100% sure. So let's cover the final album for this video with number 30, Oh Sleeper, Bloodied Unbowed. Now this album is a really interesting one because those first 2 songs off of it, when Alan said, listen to Oh Sleeper, it's a banger, it's awesome, it's heavy as fuck, and I said, okay, and then I immediately turned it off after the first 2 songs. It was just horrible. Those first 2 songs off the album, trash. Then you bring in Fissure, and what else? What was it? Fissure and Of Bane and Disease. Absolutely fucking incredible. I loved both of those songs. I really did. Like, those brought the album back. And then it was just a weird fucking album after that. Like, I don't know what to describe it as. But it was good. And that's why it deserves its rank at 30. I think that their next album, because they haven't released one since 2011, I think that their next one could be really good. They just need to... I don't know. I feel like they need to centralize where they want to go in terms of their sound. I feel like it's just like a brand new band that took over. I also found the band like about a month and a half ago, and it was just before this album released. So I didn't really have much time to look into their older stuff yet. I will look into it in 2020, though. I plan to listen to a lot of older stuff. Like, after all these videos are released, I plan to listen to My Chemical Romance, because Twitter voted and said, yes, you must listen to My Chemical Romance because of their reunion. Yes, I have to. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, and if you really enjoyed or just want to know when the fuck I am uploading my next video, please subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.